Yeah.
Wow. I'm speechless. And welcome to the Super Fun Awesome Happy Time pedal show. I feel like you're probably too young to that, but I feel like saying, touch my monkey!
No, I'm not touching your monkey. I'm not falling for that again.
I was like, that's
Yes.
Saturday Night Live.
Hey, welcome. I'm Alex, and this is the synthesizer from BOSS, the new one, SY-1.
Well, newish now, yes, the SY-1. Big thank you to Ed and all the awesome people at BOSS for sending this out to us to do a video with. So yeah, so it's strap yourselves in, folks. This is going to be quite a lengthy video. We've got we thought we'll get the littlest bass we could possibly find, and guitar. So we're doing guitar and bass. Yes, so it's the SY-1 synthesizer.
So the setup today, we're just going directly into Logic via the Apollo. No amp sims, no amps, no anything. Just so I can hear the synth as itself, because it's kind of more of an instrument rather than just an effects pedal.
Yes.
So
indubitably.
It's clean. There's no EQ or high passing on, so you can hear it, especially with the bass guitar.
Yeah.
Goes down nice low.
Yeah.
It's all tight and punchy.
So we also have, so there's multiple things you can do with this thing. So the white cables are just kind of your input and output, but then we have these cables too, which there's an effects loop within the synth, SY-1. And in the effects loop we have a delay, and we also have a BOSS HM2, because why not put a heavy metal pedal into that? Which you actually heard at the intro too. Yeah. And then we also have, just for final touch, we've got the Dimension C at the end, which I won't turn on to later, but to me, the Dimension C with synth pedals, it's kind of like the special sauce. It adds a little magic icing on,
On the sauce.
On the sauce.
Icing sauce?
Anyway, so that's the signal chain today.
Cool.
So, okay, let's quickly have an overview of the pedal. There's quite a lot to it, right? So we've got two kind of rotary kind of knobs with 11 little clickities with 11 what would you call it? 11
switch settings?
Settings, I guess, yes, settings for each one of those.
Yeah.
And then we have two concentric knobs. So on your left, you basically have a wet and dry. So the outer knob is the direct sound, so how much of the direct signal of the guitar or bass you want to hear. The inner knob, the top one, is how much of the effect sound you want to hear. Also,
sorry to interrupt, with that dry effects, that brings in the effects loop.
Yeah, so the loop is only on the dry signal. It's not on the affected signal.
So you can have that as a blend of another effect sound over the top of the synth sound, which is what we did in the
with the HM2. Yeah. And then the next set of concentric knobs are tone and rate and depth. So the top one is tone and rate. So it depends on what effect type, synth type you're on, that changes. We'll get to all that. And then on the bottom you have the depth. So quite often the depth means it could sometimes be a filter kind of setting. It could be, there's different things. So it's two parameters basically. Then if we go all the way over here, you've got the effects type or synth type. There's 11 different types. You've got, hang on, let me read the list because it's easier to read here. So you have two settings that are lead settings, one pad, one bass, strings, organs, bells. Then you have special effects 1 and 2 and sequence 1 and 2. We were on sequence 2 there. And then each one of those 11 types has 11 variations, which, if you're good at mathematicizing, 11 times 11 is
11 to 100,000.
Yes, lots is the answer.
It's 121.
121.
So,
yes.
Should we start with all the way at the top at the pad? Sorry, lead sound.
Well, should we start with bass and with guitar?
don't mind.
Let's start with guitar.
Okay.
Just because it's cooler. So there's a little switch in the back. We switch between bass and guitar. We're set on bass at the moment. We'll go back to guitar. So now what we can do, so this is basically, with it off, this is just a guitar going directly into Logic, straight into Logic. Sounds like this. Now.
Might jump through a bunch of them because otherwise we'll be here all day.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is the some of the lead sounds without running over my bass.
Okay, so let's check out some of the lead sounds. So yeah, so you can now get rid of, Alex has got rid of the dry signals, so there's only the lead sounds. And hang on, I'll bring up the little cheat sheet thing here as well, because then you can see what each one of them does. There you go.
Lead 1.
Very light. Sorry?
Okay, so lead 1, we have tone and depth. Tone and depth.
So top is tone, bottom is depth. And depth, I guess, is the modulation. Is it like a modulation? Whoa! And now, for example, you can blend in some of the clean sound if you wanted to. So you have the synthy sound and a guitar sound. And then, for example, you want some BOSS HM2 with the normal setting, everything on full. Oh, you changed the sound, man. Oh, you didn't know. Just glitched a bit. That was cool. So sort of, you can add different sounds to it, you can add different things to it, kind of to embiggen the sound even more.
Cool.
Lead 2?
So we've got lead 2.
fun. It is kind of polyphonic too, actually. Go back to the one that was on. It was on just. And then blend in some dry signal with the delay. '80s power ballad.
Yes, that's what we want. Speaking of power ballads, let's go to the next one, which is pads.
Okay. Let's turn it.
Still got tone and depth. There's
turn that off.
Tone and depth. There's tone and depth.
Okay.
Check out bass.
Okay, bass.
Which is
come up for it.
Mad sick.
It's cool. It tracks really well too.
Next one is a strings.
Sorry?
The glissando thing.
Yes. Should mention we're using the Boss DD8 in the shimmer mode, just to get a bit of ambiance. What is that? I don't know how it goes, but final countdown. Let's just rewrite it. Da 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 da.
Organs. Organ time.
I don't know how to play, but. I think it tracks really, really well. I don't know, to me the tracking, like with a lot of these pogs and stuff, people complain about it, the tracking.
Yeah.
It never bothers me with anything like that. And that definitely, the tracking is great on this, I think. And in this, what's that looking? What was it? Well, Batman managed to get to, you know. Is the Joker going to escape? Will Batman catch the Penguin? Stay tuned next week. It's polyphonic.
Mm.
I can shred.
That's silly. Special effects number 1.
All right, special effects number 1. Everyone needs those.
It's really... So let's go to special effects 2.
Okie dokie. Wow, that was a lot of bottom end there. My jazz fusion project.
It's called an audience tolerance in D minor.
Audience tolerance.
Now, the fun bits. Got sequence.
Well, the sequences to me, I mean, all the other stuff is interesting. It's cool. It's fun, and there's some really cool sounds on it. But the sequences, when it comes to me, that's when it gets interesting.
Should we check out those? So sequence number 1. Oh, sorry, sequence bank number 1.
Oh, cool. That's a chase scene. That's when Homer goes into a computer game world.
Oh, yeah.
And he becomes Pac-Man. These to me are really cool. Like,
Yeah.
To me, they're quite inspiring. These sort of things. You can watch. I did a video where I did like a track thingy there, because it was quite inspiring. It was one of them. It was the last sequence, and I think it was the last variation of the sequence of the last sequence. Well, I think that's the one. Are we on the last one? Last sequence? I think that's the one I did the track with. Something like that. It was around about that kind of
it's
thing.
total.
It's cool. It's like it's a full
video
track
game.
that comes out of it, and that bass kind of follows your notes.
So let's check out the last speaker's sequences.
Sequence number 2. Whew. Long ride. That's instant Ingui. Well, sort of instant Ingui. But this stuff is cool. I really like this stuff. The only thing I mean, this is just me being pedantic.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish is that it had like, even just one of those mini jack Midians.
Yeah.
So you could sync that to things.
Tempo match it.
Tempo match it, tempo sync it to things. That's the only thing. Because, I mean, imagine that. And you have like so many bands play along to click tracks now and everything is, synced. If you could sync that, that's, like an intro or part of the song and then, everything kind of follows it. That's it. I mean, it's small. I think when you get to the bigger ones, the 300, SY-300, I think, and the SY-1000, which are bigger versions, you have MIDI capabilities and stuff, and it probably can do similar things. But, having like one of those little mini MIDI jacks, how cool would that have been to have? Or, when you're recording something, so you can actually track it properly without free-forming it.
Yeah. I think that comes with the... it'd be great on that footprint to have it.
Or even like a USB, like a mini USB or something in the back that then does, BOSS. No, that's the one I did, I think. But it's cool having the drums, having the bass line there. It's sort of a one-man band. Oh, and that's just off now. That's just a delay.
So.
Whew. So that was all the presets and variations on it.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, should we try and kind of find a sound? Oh, actually, before we do that, I reckon the secret sauce, secret icing on the top, not secret, but I mean icing on the top, for using synthesizer stuff is, like, let's find a cool sort of paddy sound, for example, or like something kind of, not with the drums and stuff, but just like a, maybe pad or strings, one of those. Like that. That's a cool sort of very synth, analog synth kind of sound. Now to me, I reckon, I mean, adding reverbs and delays is one thing, but this thing, I don't know if you can really see it. Oh yeah, well let's do it this way.
See, like
You can see it in that camera, yeah, that's what I mean. Dimension C. Now, I'm going to just play something. Just turn it, so it's just set on the most extreme setting. So it's on the STD 320 setting with number 3 and 4 pushed in. But now if I just play something, just turn it on and just maybe listen to this with headphones. Listen to the difference. It's insane. So we've got a mono signal running into that, and it comes out in stereo, into stereo channels on here. But just have a listen to the difference. So if I go, it becomes three-dimensional. It's amazing the difference that thing makes. And then we turn it off. It's a much more direct sort of thing. I think especially with, maybe let's go to like a, like a pad? It just grows. So to me, if you want to use the SY-1, it's a cool pedal, but if you want to make the sound massive, get a Dimension C.
There you go.
And then stick a DD8 on the shimmer setting and a heavy metal on the heavy metal setting into the loop, and then you've got the coolest sound ever. It's just cool.
Is that the coolest sound ever?
Well, it's it. I think it's funny how actually like the HM2 heavy metal, it actually works really well with this. I think it just and we literally have everything on 10, like on full. That's the way, except for the volume is down a bit, but that's the way you're meant to have it set. Like that's the Swedish metal setting. That's just cool.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
It's a big sound, eh?
Let's do that same sound now. I'll flick the little switchy ditchy in the back.
So there's a swing on the back for bass.
To go to bass, yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on, where is it? There it is. Okay, now we're in bass. May change where the frequency is.
You do lose some bottom end.
You do lose a lot of bottom end if you go to guitar.
Yeah.
So that's the sound.
So?
That's the sound without the effects loop.
Yep, without the distortion.
Yeah. That's cool. It's such a massive sound. And now, just I'll turn that, just the Dimension C off. Just hear the difference. It's amazing the difference this thing makes. It becomes so small. I really, truly, honestly have to say, I never got the whole Dimension C, Dimension D, the Rackman thing. I never got it.
Yeah.
Until I got that thing, and then I went, you need to experience it. It just that 3D thing it does, the surround sound thing it does when you turn it on, is insane. So yeah, so that was a very long video of lots of very weird noises, and hopefully it was in any way, shape or form helpful to you guys out there. But if you want to make really cool synthy sounds on very little basses or on guitar, get an SY-1 with a Dimension C, use a DD8 and a heavy metal HM2, or use the MT2W if you want to go all Wazza. It sounds killer. It's a really versatile thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks to Ed for sorting this out for us.
Thank you, Ed.
Legend.
Yes. Legend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Links below to our Instagram, Facebook, and podcast. We chat about all this stuff and get some guests on.
Yes.
And yeah, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you soon. Bye.